What's going on, my brothers and my sisters? Man, I hope this video finds you alive and well and you are in good spirits in the name of the Lord. Now tonight, I want to turn my attention to the goats and the sheep. And I'm going to be reading out of Matthew 25, 31 through 33. And I'm going to start with 31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. All of the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them one from another, just as a shepherd separates the sheep and the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Now, if you are familiar with sheep, then you know they tend to stay close to the shepherd because they rely heavily on the shepherd for protection, guidance, as well as food, meaning that they trust the shepherd will lead them and keep them safe at all times. Now, they follow him close, right? Now, this is often used as a metaphor in the Bible when Jesus is referred to as the good shepherd. And Jesus told us in his word, "My sheep, they hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall they ever be plucked out of my hand." Now, the sheep basically represent those individuals who have decided to pick up their cross and follow Jesus. Now, these are the individuals who help the poor, they help the needy, they help the marginalized. They also follow and obey Jesus's teachings, meaning that they will literally serve other people as if they were serving Christ in the flesh. Now, don't get this thing twisted and tangled. This doesn't mean that you can make it into heaven just based on your works. That is not what I am saying, because that can only be obtained by the grace of God and your faith in the plan of salvation. Now, Jesus makes it crystal clear by stating that his sheep's inheritance was there since the creation of the world. And he basically told us that in Matthew 25 and 34, when he said this, "Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world.'" Meaning, it was already done before any of your good works was even performed. It also tells us that in Romans chapter 3, 22 to 24, the righteousness of God is through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe, since there is no distinction. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. They are all justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Jesus Christ. So now let's talk about the goats before I move forward. So goats, they tend to run off. They are naturally curious, agile animals with a strong instinct to just escape potential threats, making them adept to finding weaknesses in fences and readily jumping over obstacles simply to explore surroundings. Essentially, they are escape artists due to their climbing abilities as well as inherent desire for freedom. Goats represent the damned. Let's just keep it a buck. We want to do our own thing when we want, how we want, and where we want. They are just like a city with no walls. They value freedom more than they do faith. And these are the people who had a chance to minister to Christ. But you see, they did the exact opposite. They care more about themselves than they do anyone else. They are selfish and not selfless. Now, their hearts have been hardened, and all they do is think about themselves. And they will do everything in their power not to do what is right. And they desire darkness more than they do the light. Now stay with me. Now we still in Matthew 25. I'm going to read 35 through the 40th verse. This is what he told the sheep. "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. For I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you took care of me. I was in prison and you visited me. And then that's when the righteous said to him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and took you in, or without clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison to even visit you? And this is what the king said. Man, this is my favorite part. He answered them and he said, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Now we still in Matthew chapter 25. I'm going to read to you 41 through 46. Peep game. He says, then he will also say to those on the left, depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger and you didn't even take me in. I was naked and you did not clothe me. I was sick and I was in prison and you didn't even take care of me. In verse 44, it says, then they too will answer. And you know, they got them little smart mouths. They said, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or stranger or without clothes or sick in prison and did not help you? And then he will answer them. Peep the text. He said, truly. He said, truly, I tell you, meaning he's standing on business. He's standing on his truth. Whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. And they will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. But let me go ahead and land this plane because I know how y'all are. Y'all so impatient. If you maintain a good relationship with the good shepherd, you will produce good fruit. Ain't no question about it. Galatians chapter 5, 22 through the 23rd verse. Love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. You see, these are works. Now, they ain't the cause of salvation, but they are the effect of it. But ask yourself, are you a goat or are you a sheep? And if you don't know which one you are, you better hurry up and find out, because time is of the essence. And those would be facts on facts on facts on top of facts. To God the glory. Now go talk to him. I promise you, he would love to hear from you. Carry on.